Imagine this. You're sitting in ancient Athens, surrounded by scrolls and philosophers debating truth and wisdom, and suddenly a man walks in holding a glowing rectangle, showing you endless dancing, memes, and 10-second rants. Plato would probably drop his cup of wine in horror. Why? Because the entire world of TikTok is the exact nightmare he warned us about 2,400 years ago. And if he could see it today, he'd call it the death of philosophy. But here's the twist. Plato's warnings aren't just about TikTok, they're about us, about how we consume knowledge, chase pleasure, and forget to question what's real. So buckle in, because by the end of this video, you'll see why the greatest philosopher of ancient Greece would absolutely despise TikTok, and why his critique might secretly explain everything about our modern digital lives. The cave and the algorithm. Plato's most famous allegory is the cave. Prisoners chained in darkness, mistaking flickering shadows for reality. For Plato, the shadows were illusions, distractions from truth. Now fast forward to TikTok, endless feeds of jokes, dances, and outrage clips flickering on our screens. Just like the shadows in the cave, they hold us captive, convincing us we're informed while we're really just entertained. Plato's message was clear. Most people would rather watch shadows than step into the blinding light of truth. TikTok's algorithm is the perfect modern cave, keeping us chained, eyes locked, scrolling for hours. The question is, are we willing to break free? The war on attention. Plato believed the mind thrives on discipline and contemplation. Real philosophy meant slowing down, thinking deeply, and questioning everything. TikTok does the opposite. It slices time into 10-second bursts of dopamine. Our brains adapt, craving quick hits, making deep focus feel impossible. For Plato, this would be corruption, not entertainment, because a distracted mind can never reach wisdom. But there's something darker. TikTok isn't just accidental distraction, it's engineered. Plato feared the poets of his day because their words could sway emotions without reason. Imagine what he'd say about an AI-driven platform that knows exactly what to show you to keep you scrolling. He'd see it as manipulation at the highest level, the democracy of content. In ancient Athens, Plato distrusted democracy. He thought the masses were too easily swayed by appearances and emotions. Instead, he believed only philosopher kings, or those trained in truth and reason, should lead. Now compare that to TikTok, where anyone can go viral. Plato would shudder. He'd argue that truth gets drowned out by popularity, that the loudest voice, not the wisest, always wins. And he'd probably point to viral misinformation as proof that democracy of content leads not to truth, but chaos. Yet here's the paradox. The same openness that horrifies Plato is what makes TikTok so revolutionary. It gives everyone a platform, from comedians to activists to educators. Even Plato might have gone viral, though maybe not for the reasons he hoped. The seduction of pleasure. For Plato, the greatest danger wasn't ignorance, it was pleasure. He believed people would always choose what feels good over what is true. TikTok embodies this perfectly. Endless dances, pranks, funny clips. Harmless? Maybe. But Plato would argue that too much pleasure numbs us, that a society addicted to fun can't handle hard truths. And if you think about it, when was the last time you scrolled TikTok and left feeling wiser? Not just entertained. The philosopher's nightmare, short in time. Plato measured wisdom in lifetimes, not seconds. Philosophy was a slow climb, step by step toward truth. TikTok compresses thought into tiny bursts, designed to be forgotten as soon as the next clip plays. For Plato, this wasn't just shallow, it was dangerous. Because a culture that values speed over depth risks losing the very idea of wisdom. But would Plato really hate it? Here's where things get interesting. Plato hated poetry and theater because they distracted people from truth. But what if he saw TikTok educators, people teaching philosophy, history, and science in short, powerful bursts? Could he admit that maybe, just maybe, the cave isn't always a prison? That sometimes shadows can lead us toward the light? In fact, TikTok might accidentally fulfill Plato's dream, reaching the masses with philosophy in ways old Athens never could. Imagine Plato's dialogues condensed into snappy, viral content, reaching millions across the globe. Maybe he'd cringe, or maybe he'd realize philosophy has found its new stage. The hidden irony. Here's the irony Plato couldn't have predicted. His fear of shadows might be what makes TikTok so powerful. Because in a world drowning in distraction, the hunger for real truth becomes even stronger. The very platform Plato would despise might also awaken curiosity in people who never thought about philosophy before. And that, perhaps, is the modern paradox, the big question for us. So the real issue isn't, would Plato hate TikTok? Because the answer is yes. The real issue is, what do we do with it? Do we stay chained in a cave, scrolling endlessly? Or do we use it to climb upward, to discover new ideas, to question the world around us? Plato's challenge to us is the same as it was 2,400 years ago. Seek truth, not shadows. So here's my challenge to you. Next time you're scrolling TikTok, ask yourself, am I chasing shadows or am I searching for light? And if you want more stories like this, where ancient wisdom meets our modern world, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because in this cave we call the internet, I'll keep bringing you the torches to see beyond the shadows.